आज जो जिस टॉपिक पे हम बात करने वाले हैं, आई थिंक दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर द कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड ऑल्सो, एंड आई थिंक ऑन इंडिविजुअल लेवल ऑल्सो. वी हैव एन इंडस्ट्री एक्सपर्ट, Maheshwari Jani, who is very experienced in this field, and she is going to create awareness. So Maheshwari, first of all, thank you so much and welcome.
Thanks, Neha, for this opportunity. And I would again say that I am not an industry expert. So I am a learner, who is learning and sharing with the world. That's it.
Yeah, okay, that's very nice of you.
Thank you.
So Maheshwari, a brief introduction about yourself.
Okay. So, Neha, I started typically somewhere in 2005. I typically started from being a trainer, okay, a soft skill trainer. And it continued for some time, okay. So I have graduated from being a soft skill trainer to a facilitator to a consultant. And today I can proudly say that I'm an organization development consultant and a leadership coach working with corporates, uh, various industries, various hierarchies. So that's what I can share about myself.
Okay. Now let's dive directly into the topic. About POSH. The first thing that came to my mind was how is the POSH committee formed in an organization? What do you have to say?
So look, the POSH committee is formed in writing, okay, and by the management. Uh, so the structure of POSH committee is that we have one presiding officer, and this has to be a senior woman professional from the organization itself who's got an interest in woman empowerment, working towards women, their betterment, their health, their wellness, various other, specifically in and around women. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Will you please let our viewers know that what kind of complaints fall under the POSH category? When can an employee approach the HR committee for this?
So they are usually we have categorized them in um, two categories. Okay, when we talk about the POSH, so one is quid pro quo. So that is simply this for that. Uh, so a senior, it usually comes from the power that, hey, I would give you a raise or I would give you a promotion. I need your time. I want to go for a date with you. Okay. Or maybe, so these kinds of favors are there. Okay. And of course, if you categorize the action, it could be many pinching, it could be luring, it could be following somebody, it could be hugging somebody, it could be like holding somebody with a lot of strength. Anything in physical, okay, anything in verbal, any obscene message or any sexually colored remark, any posture or something. Even today we are living in the world of reels, so any reels which is obscene, okay, so they all come into this, okay. And also another is creating a hostile work environment, okay. So it's playing with any unwelcoming behavior, okay, cross comment. So it's just not, to share with you, it's just not about a men, okay. It could cover the gamut. It could be group of people, it could be men, it could be women also.
Okay.
That could be a respondent or it could be accused.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for clearing this.
So POSH is any sexual activity is all about the intent.
Yeah.
Just think for a moment, if such kind of things are happening in the organization, what would be the culture? What
Yeah.
would be the atmosphere? Cross commenting, which is not acceptable. Oh, at times, even if somebody has really worked towards the success, people say, oh, you know what, she's closer to the boss, that's the reason she's got the raise, that's the reason she's got a promotion, she is mostly traveling with so and so person. So these kinds of comments create hostile, and many more of such.
Okay. Okay. And what is the company policy on sexual harassment? I mean, how is this communicated to the employees?
Okay, so one, I would like to share a little more about the structure as well before we
Yeah,
get into the policy, because
yeah.
policy has those elements as well.
Okay.
So as I mentioned, that there's a presiding officer. So there is a member from usually the preferred choices coming from an NGO. Okay, and there are equal amount of members, male, female, both, which is there. Okay. Now coming to the policy. So, a lot of corporates take support and help from a lot of lawyers or subject
Mm,
matter expertise to draft the policies. Okay. And policy covers aspect, usually what I've observed is a general neutral because they cover every employee. Okay.
mm,
So, okay. So no matter whatever their age be, what is the experience, their tenure, even the visitors as well. Yes. So if I am going as a woman consultant at one of the corporates, so it would cover me as well.
ah,
Okay. Okay. So, or even an intern would be covered
okay.
in the policy. But there are certain definitions which are mentioned in the policy. One is employer and employee, which everybody knows. Then workplace, that's your office space. Extended workplace. So it covers uh, the moment you step into office bus, that becomes your workplace. You go to an office party, you travel for official work as well, that becomes your, by the means you travel, okay, that becomes your extended workplace. Even you go for a conference, that's your extended workplace. So simply wherever you represent your organization is an extended workplace.
Okay, okay. Thank you for this point.
You're welcome. Also, if somebody breaches, okay, somebody makes a false complaint, so what could be the punishment? Okay, and of course the nitty-gritties are already mentioned in the policy as well. Okay, and now coming back, how it is circulated. Okay, by the it's mandated by the POSH Act itself that the organization has to conduct POSH awareness sessions every year. Okay,
Mm,
and whatever the content be, number of people, employees who have attended, everything has to be documented by IC committee, and it is shared with the legal bodies, okay, or notifying bodies, whatever they are. Okay, so the information could go on mails, on the notice board, even when you go to the certain washrooms also, so they would have posters in those places as well.
okay, 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 okay. So my next question would be, how are complaints of such harassments handled within the organization? अभी कभी-कभी क्या होता है कि many people they want to have that confidentiality. They do not they want to be anonymous. So retaliation for safety is a concern for many. So how is this handled?
So, of course, the very first thing is, by the law, it has to be strictly confidential.
Yeah.
Okay. But, the organizations are nose kid, the news are somewhere people get to know that what kind of things are happening at the workplace. And you can't really, say that although it's very, very strict, certain organizations keep it very, very confidential as well. Okay. But some, you can't really help it.
But then how does the organization help them?
So coming to that, okay, the very
Hmm.
first thing, if such case happens, okay,
Hmm.
um, so there are certain reliefs which are already mentioned by the law, okay. You can transfer the woman employee to another location if it exists,
Okay.
okay. For example, if as a corporate, I have an office in Delhi. If the person wants, she can be shifted to Mumbai, okay.
Hmm.
So that's one of the reliefs. Okay, there could be 3 months paid leave, which could be there. It depends on what is comfort level and of for the employee. That's how the interim reliefs are there itself. And also, what happens if such thing happens? Of course, you can lodge a complaint at IC committee. And even if the person does not want to lodge a complaint to IC committee, she can go to police station to lodge a complaint. One person from uh, the corporate itself accompany her to the police station to lodge the complaint. That's there.
What support mechanisms are available for employees who may feel uncomfortable coming forward for, to complain?
What happens is when we talk about the support mechanism, okay, the one way is you can give an authority to a concerned person if you don't want to be physically available. Okay, maybe you can't, so you can authorize somebody to do that. Okay, and or at times they go through a lot of mental trauma as well. Even if that, you can ask a family member with authorization or any NGO body member. You can, that person could be a complainant as well. So these are some of the things which can be taken care of. And in fact, today when the world is talking about mental wellness, so there are a lot of counseling forums which are available in the corporates as well. At some of the corporates, yes. But Neha, there is lot of work has to be done in this area. So I had worked with one of my clients way back when I delivered the very, very first session. Okay. So this was all women session. Okay.
Hmm.
There were a lot of practices, which were there, a lot of support which were available to them as well. They can go to open forums to talk about what they're feeling about it. In fact, the interesting was to see that the women at workplace, they supported each other.
Ah,
So they, it was a very informal kind of a peer group. And so I could see a lot of changes. There was a time when in this corporate, the female washrooms, the locks were broken. Okay. But, with that's, in fact, there was one of the situations which was shared by one of my trainees during one of the POSH sessions. She said, you know what? There was a man who came to me, hey, you're a woman. How can you pick up something heavy stuff? So suddenly there's another woman who walks in who supported her. So, those kinds of peer groups come handy as well. And you could
hmm.
see, when these women were talking, you could see the sense of power, of support. I could categorize them as empowered women circle.
Yeah,
It's very best said as, it's such a beautiful relationship when one woman empowers another woman. Okay.
yeah,
But Neha, another aspect is still if we go by the law, okay.
yeah,
Uh, as a woman also, this is a pinching part. And then, we in the certain forums, we had been talking and uh, with other posh consultants as well, or people who are working in this domain, this is still a woman-centric law or act. Okay? Even men go through these
yeah,
kinds of issues. They are also being harassed. So, when I deliver sessions, and this is very, very sensitive topic.
yeah.
I don't know how and when this law would be really, really neutral towards men also. I really don't know.
Yeah, true. My next question was that only. That
Hmm.
even men go through it. Nowadays, it's no longer. I mean, yes, the ratio maybe the majority would be still women are harassed. There are still MCPs in the corporate world, but there are men also who face mental harassment or certain traumas.
Yes.
Then, yeah, then how would the company handle if you must have come across some incident? How to do this?
So, one of the persons shared that there was this woman who was asking for the favors. So
Mm-hmm.
he went to the HR and, there was some camera to be placed and that's how they played it. That's the story which I heard. Um, and also for men, of course, this is, uh, as a policy, is still a neutral policy because I mentioned it covers all of the employees. Okay. So, but still, they have to go and to possibly to register a complaint at a police station to get the things ahead with it. So, yes, some of the things are happening at IC level also, but how much the ratio is pretty less. Yes. So, if you look at there was this movie Akshay Kumar and Priyanka Chopra. I don't remember the name of that movie, which is the reverse
Yeah,
example of
yeah,
what
yeah.
we usually do. Yes,
Aetras, I think.
yeah,
Aetras.
yes, Etaraz is the movie. Okay. And then a lot of people could correlate with it.
Yeah.
Yes. And
Okay.
honestly, we are adults, we know what are our boundaries. So that's what I usually quote to people: know your boundaries. And if you feel uncomfortable about it, because posh is something which is about, if you feel uh any behavior which is unwelcoming, you know it yourself.
Yeah, true,
So you
true. Yeah,
only you can put it at a stop.
yeah, yeah. So there are, I'm sure there are certain trainings, as you mentioned earlier, that happen probably once a year for all the employees, right? So I think that's a good initiative again on a corporate level.
No, just not that. I was talking to one of the senior leaders, one of my friends. So he was mentioning in our organization, we have to go it twice for the
Ah,
senior leaderships. So
hmm.
they have to go through those videos. Some of them have e-learning modules also at place, which is mandatory by every employee to attend.
Okay, okay, okay. Thank you for sharing that. Um,
Welcome.
Now my next question would be, are there any specific sources, I mean, in terms of counseling sessions that can be helpful for the victim in the organization itself? Like somebody doesn't have to go out. So is there anything like that?
Yes, there are certain forums which are available. There are counseling sessions. Today, a lot of corporates are also hiring organization counselors as well. Okay. Psychologists as well, who support them in this initiative.
Okay, okay, okay. So, Maheshwari, my next question would be, what is the process of an employee to file a complaint? I mean, ye, for how long does it take for this to happen so that the employee or the victim is, in a good space?
Okay, so usually the time which is given by the act is 3 months. That's 90 days.
Oh.
When the act has happened. Okay.
Ah,
Um, so as I mentioned, at times there's a lot of fear factor. There could be some mental trauma. Physically, somebody is not available. So that's the reason we have this kind of time. Usually, it is said that, as earliest as possible. So this is
uh,
this is something a thought process कि अगर ऐसा कुछ हुआ है, so please go and share. The IC committee, of course, it has to go in written, okay,
yeah,
to the IC committee. You can meet any of the IC committee members, or you can draft a mail to them that this is, and every aspect of it, that who all were there, what was the date, what was the timing, what was the nature of act, everything has to be mentioned. What is the relation between
yeah,
the aggrieved woman and the respondent? We call them as a accused or respondent as well. So once that is there, within a week's time, the IC would send across a notice, and the respondent has 10 days to respond on that notice. And the duration which is given by the act or law is 90 days.
mm,
And after that, once the investigation is closed, within 10 days, they have to submit a report to the management with their recommendations. And the management has to act on those recommendations by IC committee within 60 days. And
okay,
even after that, you want to, put it across that this is not acceptable. Both the respondent and the
Tim?
accused woman has
Yeah.
accused as well as the victim or aggrieved woman, whatever you want to call. So these are the words which are usually used. Okay. To appeal against it, they have almost like 90 days. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Mm,
Maheshwari, I'm just giving you a situation where a woman now is accusing a man falsely of such
mm,
harassment. So,
mm.
how many warnings would generally an organization give to such? What are the action basically taken for against such people?
It depends on the policy of the organization, what
Mm,
kind of punishments which are there. Okay. What I've heard of, usually they are being expelled. Okay. That's one of the things. I tell you, there was a false case. I was talking to one of the senior leaders, and this is something which happened in 2012. Okay.
mm,
And the man was falsely accused in this. And in that case, what happened was person who was authorized person of this local office expel the woman because this was a false case. And
Oh,
it was very clear it came from even in the inquiry also or the investigation, whatever you want to call. The case was fake.
ah, okay, okay.
Also, what happens is in a lot of corporate setups, you would see that, there are the times when men and women are in a relationship. It is
Yeah.
not worked out. And they would falsely accuse a man and say, hey, this person is uh, has misbehaved with me, okay,
Hmm.
or he has sexually harassed me. So that such cases would also come across as well. Earlier,
Yeah.
you were everything was in an equation, but things did not work out. You accuse because relationships are mutual.
So in such situations,
So
then, I mean, I think it was consent at that time, so I think it can nullify.
no, it would not.
Okay.
It's like taking a revenge. It
Hmm.
would not nullify. You are taking a revenge of things.
Okay. Okay. So the person who is complaining, would be questioned. You're saying in such case.
Look, at that case, it really, I would say this, we can't nullify. You need to, it really holds on the IC committee the bigger responsibility, okay,
Ah.
to do the inquiry in a right form and the right manner because these people are also to be trained well,
Yeah.
okay. They have to be trained well that what is the right approach of inquiry, what is to be documented, so that they can come up with what is right.
Hmm. 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 Such a
So,
sensitive area.
it's very, very sensitive area. It's very sensitive area.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now, this is, I think, a very, again, a sensitive question, but an important question. What is the protocol if a person who has harassed somebody is on a very higher position for the company? I mean, is the rule applicable for everybody? I mean, in an ideal situation, it would be, but then what is the practical thing that is happening in an organization?
I would really not, this is very tricky to answer,
Yeah, I know.
honestly. This is very because, it really matters that how much the management is stronger. And it's not about an employee,
Yeah.
okay, that he's at a senior position. It's about everybody. It's about being fair. It comes to such thing, even the physical or the mental stability, it is, everybody has to be treated equally.
True.
It
Yeah.
really, really depends on the management as well.
Yeah, true. Maheshwari, do you think there is, because of such awareness, people are talking openly about POSH in general, do you think there is a depletion of cases now in an organization? Do you think so?
What I've heard is, these sessions are considered to create fear as well. Okay. That hey,
Uh,
you should not be behaving like this with women. Okay.
yeah.
If you're comfortable, okay. If you're not, speak up.
Hmm.
And even, our eyes are the best judge that with our act, with our gesture, somebody is not feeling comfortable about.
Yeah. True, true, true. I agree to that. Anything else, Maheshwari, that you think you would like to share about POSH on this forum that I must have missed asking you?
I would like to talk about the pillars which are there.
Mhm.
What is the sense or the pillars for the POSH Act? One needs to understand how it came into the picture. Very first thing. Of course, our constitutional rights, the fundamental rights. Okay, we can't hinder for any of the person. We have all have rights to express. We all have rights to practice a profession. We have all right to respect. That's one. Second is our the POSH Act, okay, which was released in 2013. Okay. Then another the penal Criminal Code 1860, which is under reform now as well. Another aspect is Vishaka guidelines. Okay. This is a prominent pillar. And what happened in 1992, there was a woman in Rajasthan who was working for a government NGO, and she was fighting against child marriage. So,
Okay.
so-called upper society did not like it, and he said, "This is our norm. Okay, this is what we are known by." So, she was gang raped and brutally murdered. And there was an NGO called Vishaka who fought for the case and for the justice. In 1997, there was the justice which came into the picture. Today, we call them as a Vishaka guidelines. So that these are the pillars. And of course, I would really recommend people to go and read the policy, because the policy would also have what is the act all about, what is the policy all about, what kind of behaviors are acceptable, not acceptable. It's already mentioned. So every detail is mentioned. And even the details of IC committee are mentioned in the policy as well. So
Hmm.
one should be aware of these aspects. So Neha, one more thing which is very, very crucial. A lot of times people would ask this question: what if all the organization has all men? Okay, so it's nothing to do with all men. The moment you have 10 employees at an organization, this act is to be applicable. And you need to formulate an IC committee as well. So you need to hire services of women from outside. She could be a senior professional or a woman from NGO as a presiding officer. So you have
Oh,
to bring people from outside. Yes.
that's a very important point, Maheshwari, that you shared, because there are small businesses also. I think everybody should know
Yes.
this. Yeah,
You know, um,
yeah.
and we have this power to create safe workplaces, which are collaborative, which are healthy, and which help to grow. That's in our power.
True, true. And you don't need to practice this for that, that you mentioned. It will be
Yes.
safer for everybody if people who are doing that stop doing that. And,
Yes.
on your merit, I think you are strong enough to go ahead. Do not, I think, fall prey to such things.
Mm, mm. Yes.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Maheshwari, for creating
You're most
awareness.
welcome.
Yeah, on this sensitive content. And if anybody has any questions, I think we can take a part two on certain cases, about certain cases, or something like that. But for
Mm.
today, thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
Mhm.